Of January,
Wow.
The estimate was 70,000. Wow, I was right, Maria. 4.3% is the unemployment rate. The street was looking for 4.4%. This is not the kind of report we expected to see, guys. Let me give you the government jobs picture. That is negative 42,000 on the government side part of the equation. We saw that in the reports previously. We also saw a labor force participation rate, 62.5%. Average hourly earnings, 0.41%. That is actually higher than the expectation. So average hourly earnings month to month, a little bit higher than expected. Private payrolls, 172,000. I had to do a double take. 172,000 private jobs. Guys, that's 100,000 above the estimate. We were looking for 70,000. The average work week, 34.3.
This is a hot jobs report. I mean, there's really nothing in this not to like. You're seeing a lot of sectors that had been softer, like manufacturing, for example, looking better. You're seeing numbers that really nobody expected.
While we are getting our first snapshot of the jobs market for the new year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics just released the latest report showing the U.S. added 130,000 jobs in January, while the unemployment rate dipped to 4.3%. ABC's Elizabeth Scholes is here to break this all down for us. So, Elizabeth, the job market has been sluggish for months. What do you make of how many jobs were just added?
A blockbuster report here, Perry, much better than expectations. 130,000 jobs in January. That was double what economists had expected going into this report. Best number that we saw since really toward the start of last year when it comes to job growth. And the other really good piece of news is the unemployment rate going down, now at 4.3%. That is good news. When you see that unemployment rate going down, that means that people who are looking for jobs are able to find them faster. And that has been one of the problems we're seeing in this economy, is that there has just been this slower pace of job growth. When you kind of break down where the job growth is happening, Perry, it is still concentrated in a couple of sectors in the economy. Healthcare jobs, 82,000 last month. So we continue to see a lot of jobs in that sector.
Folks, you asked for it. You asked us yesterday. I can't remember who it was who was nervous about this jobs report. Well, hello, Wednesday is here, and it is Christmas morning for all of us. We got a little bit more here.
There was also a big gain in construction jobs last month. Seems like some of that could be happening from the data center building that's happening when it comes to the artificial intelligence boom. A lot of those data center jobs needed to get our infrastructure up and running. And then notably manufacturing jobs, 5,000 new jobs in manufacturing. We had been seeing all throughout last year declines in manufacturing. So this is a first time we're seeing an uptick there, something you would expect the White House would be happy to see.
Wow. Well, lots to talk about today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all as you watch this broadcast. It is time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ along with Shelly. All right. Nicole may be able to come in towards the end of the broadcast, so we're hoping she makes it. But wishing her safe travels, folks. All right. So got a lot to cover here tonight. Before we light this fire, do your part. Tap that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications. We are live here on YouTube and Rumble. If you're on the go, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out every super chat. So drop your thoughts, show your love, and join the conversation that the mainstream media wishes didn't exist. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, Shelly, let's set it off. I do miss Nicole because she's always the really upbeat sort of positive person as far as, the midterms and this President Trump's administration. And she would have loved tonight. She would have loved this news. But we are going to, shout and get excited on her behalf. What are your thoughts on this news about this jobs report today?
I'm saying keep it coming. Give us back our money and give the jobs back to Americans as they should have them. This is great news. We are off to a good start. I want this to continue. Like I said yesterday, I want them to play up the good news. America first, Americans first. We are getting our money back. This report was, it was very uplifting. It was uplifting. Encouraging.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing to compare it to was Trump's first term when, he had a blowout in these peaks, but I mean, this is really good. And as we mentioned, as you guys saw at the top of the show, the outcomes far surpassed what anyone had predicted. So, I mean, this is such great news, particularly when we saw so many layoffs in the governmental sector.
Well,
so, yeah, I mean, go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, no, I'm going to say, right. I think it was about 40,000, more than 40,000 government workers were gone or removed, retired off the rolls. But the private sector more than doubled and picked up some of those losses from the government sector, which means the private sector, which is where profit is generated, not in the government, where we have to just pay out. This is a good thing. And for those who wanted to retire, God bless them. Another thing when I was reading today, looks like deportations have played a significant role. And people say Americans don't want those jobs. Well, the illegals are gone, and it looks like Americans do and will and want to work, as are Americans known to be hardworking, industrious. They want to work. They want to feed themselves, their families. Many of them don't want to be on the government handouts. And thankfully, we have about $29 billion that we are saving with the government, people off of the government tip.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, it's not that Americans don't want these jobs. It's the Democrats don't want Americans to have these jobs. Folks, I don't understand anybody that's voting Democrat right now. I really don't, because they don't have your best interest at heart. They opened the border for the last 8 years, had all these people came in, pretty much put a Batman light and said, come here, come you all. The border is wide open. What did they do? They took our jobs. The crime was all over the place. Everybody, forcing us out of our language. Education system, public schools were a mess, trying to keep up with people who were non-English speaking. I mean, it was a mess. Okay, and now President Trump is trying to get back to some type of law and order, not for illegals, not for people who don't belong here, but for Americans. This is just ridiculous. So let's keep going here, because everybody was surprised about this. Here is Stephen A. Smith. It looks like it pains him to give President Trump praise for this economy. This is clip 3.
Go back to that quote, Griff, because I want to read something to people. Because we're not going to be fair, even though one would argue he deserves our unfairness. It's something that I wanted to point to y'all about. He said this is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. Ladies and gentlemen, that part right there, don't hate the message, or rather don't hate.
Let me stop real quick. Do we need all this? Don't hate the messenger. He's taking these pauses and stuff. This is good news.
Look, your stocks will have gone up. Your 401ks, that is money. Our money that belongs to us anyway. Let me say this. I mean, I'm ecstatic. I love this, but I always say it's not their money. They're not giving me a gift. They're giving my money back. So I start there. I don't care what administration it is. They're giving my money back. It's not theirs to begin with. That's number one. Number two, I think I read earlier, McDonald's and Chipotle. McDonald's has seen customer traffic increase sales increase. Chipotle, I kid you not, I raised my hand. I've tasted Chipotle one time. I didn't like it. Never eaten there. I've tasted my child's Chipotle, so I've never eaten there. But I even read that Chipotle is looking to upgrade, I guess, its menu, having better food choices and whatever kind of organic foods, whatever that may be. That's a good thing. That means that they can afford to cater, if you will, to the customers who have the money to spend. Those are good things. Not only that, they're hiring. Yes, the private jobs were largely increased by the healthcare sector. I think it was. I read healthcare and social services. Even some manufacturing is starting to go up. That is a good thing. Healthcare, manufacturing, McDonald's, Chipotle, all sectors of the economy, or at least, representing many sectors of the economy. Those are good things. When Americans have their money back in their pockets, they are in charge and not the government.
Absolutely. Here he is. He's going on again here with this. Let me see here.
Just listen. Barron's, highly reputable when it comes to evaluating our market. This is what they wrote, albeit 20 days ago, just 20 days ago. This is what they wrote. President Trump said the market had set 52 all-time high records since the election. This is according to Barron's. They said that is true. Since November 6, 2024, day after the election, the S&P 500 has had 52 record closes as of Tuesday's close, according to Dow Jones market data. The NASDAQ composite has notched 46 record closes. Here's how all three major indexes have performed since January 20th, 2025, the day that Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States. The S&P 500 has gained 13.3% and notched 42 record closes. The NASDAQ has gained 16.9% and notched 36 record closes. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has gained 11.5% and notched 23 record closes. Ladies and gentlemen, that means when it comes to the stock market and your 401ks, Donald Trump wasn't lying.
Why is he saying it like this? It's almost like he's reading an obituary. You should be happy. Yes, you were wrong about the man. He was right. He knew what he was doing. Shelley, what are your thoughts here?
Ode to James Carville. It's the economy, stupid. Look, I've been on the economy all year for the most part. Money, immigration, illegal immigration. Yes. So these two things, the primary two, and I guess the Epstein files, but the primary two issues that Donald Trump and his campaign ran on, we are delivering. This is this is definitely a great start to the 2026, to hearing this news, having this news. It energizes you. It energizes. Again, I want us to keep on with the good, playing up the good things and doing the good things for the American people.
Now, what happens in the last 20 days or whatever, I don't know.
Oh,
but I'm telling you as of right now, he wasn't lying about that.
No, he wasn't.
According to Barron's.
There it is. He knew exactly what he was talking about. But guess what? And so the question is, why are leftists, why are liberals upset today? Because they don't want to see America win. That's what it's all about. Take a look here. This is MS Now on clip 4. Now, they're actually praising him. This is clip 4.
Happened is that there were a lot of Wall Street analysts who were predicting that a reduction of the labor force was going to make a bad number. And in fact, CNBC had a headline saying that the jobs number is going to be zero. Bloomberg had a headline saying the jobs number is going to be zero. And private sector jobs, which is our main focus right now because we've been reducing government employment, they went up 170,000. They absolutely blew out. any expectation whatsoever. So it's really a remarkable, strong number. And to put it in perspective, to get that much job creation while that basically the labor force is declining some because people are leaving the country and being deported is a really remarkable thing. The bottom line is I'd say there's 3 facts that I think that I really hope that the viewers would think about.
Before we start on that, the reason why is because probably these people they were deporting weren't really adding to the job market.
Oh no, they were just cheap. They were just cheap. They were cheap labor. So the corporations can get them for the cheap, if you will, and then recoup, I guess, even more profit, pay the difference in profits. But those are jobs where Americans will command, if you will, of course, what I don't know what they call living wage, higher wages, whatever the case may be. But they can't just get over on Americans like that. And Americans are qualified for whatever the job. They can be qualified. They can learn, and many of them already are qualified for whatever these positions may be. Obviously, the corporations are reaping the benefits because they're hiring them and they're not losing out. Their capital has gone up as well. So,
yeah.
One is that we've been hearing this story that artificial intelligence is going to take away people's jobs, right? Well, in this report, labor force participation is the highest it's been in the United States since 2001. And so we actually have more people going into the labor force than we've seen in 2 decades. And so that this AI effect is not there. The next thing is that the government employment, because President Trump's team has given people early retirement and so on, and the Doge movements early in the spring, that we've reduced government employment, federal government employment, by 360,000 or so people. That's the lowest share of the labor force that's working for the federal government since 1966. And what that means is that $29 billion this year less will be spent on government salaries, and that helps reduce interest rates and balance the budget. So there's a heck of a lot of good news in this report.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a very good report. Again, a good start. Let's keep it up. I want to mention John Roberts here, a comment about Social Security. John, just know you are singing my song. I've been saying that for decades. Give us back our Social Security, and you know what? Let us invest it ourselves. We will definitely be hitting home runs. But this is a good start. Can't deny the goodness. I mean, the good report here. We do have a super chatter here or two. Let's see. We have Shantia. Hi, Shantia. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Good evening, ladies in chat. Good to see you, Shantia. Thank you. Talkington 2 cents. Thank you, Michelle.
That's Michelle, you guys.
Right, Michelle. Thank you for your $5 super chat. The left can't even be happy about more money. Just wait until we see the new Fed chair. You're right. They're not happy about new money because you know why, Michelle? Again, we just talked about the private jobs, 172 plus thousand. The government roles, if you will, have been reduced. Those are the people that they would normally cater to be on government welfare, if you will, or they would kind of fill in that gap. They can't do that. They can't say, oh, they can't go to work. Nobody's going to hire them. They can't say that now. The private sector more than doubled the labor force. They have doubled it. So therefore, guess what? When you want to eat, you work. SNAP rolls, again, they didn't mention this, but the SNAP rolls have decreased. You got to get out and work. This is all a good thing. And those Democrats, lefties, lunatics, they don't want that. They want you dependent on them. That's what they want. This is a good news. Even if, I don't know, I'm not going to say even if. This is a good news, not just for money purposes or economic purposes. It's also a good morale, a national morale thing, a good thing for nationally, for the morale, for your communities, families, because it's almost like a collective sharing in of the benefits, again, individually, because your pay is going to go up. Your pay has gone up. So I want that.
Yeah, I agree. And let's talk about some of the sectors that really got won in this. Okay. And one of the biggest sectors that dominated in this jobs report was healthcare. All right. And this is really ironic when we've seen over the last several weeks, nurses all over social media come out against President Trump, against conservatives, Even so much so, we had that nurse, where was it, in Florida, who was fired for talking about how she would give poor care to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. But they came out extremely well, up 82,000 jobs, dominating like it has for years, averaging 33,000 per month in 2025. So, I mean, this is a big thing. Also, some of the other big winners in this was construction. Okay, they were up plus 33,000 jobs. All right. So again, the infrastructure that we're talking about here, we have a bridge here in Maryland that still needs to be built. You know, these are the types of jobs that we want to see are being made and are coming about, because we get things like this: roads, bridges, buildings, all kinds of things. Great stimulators for the economy as well. And as we mentioned, a big loser was the federal government. So we love to see it, folks. Sound off and let us know what you think. As you come in, please hit that like button. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and we appreciate the support. Also, now I think you all know we are on the Metro Conservative Media platform here, and I think you can find one of us on every day of the week now, guys. So you're here on Wednesdays. We're Pop and Politics. Now you can catch a new show from at KJ Christian Conservative. We just finished our show, me and Michelle, because we won't be on tomorrow night, but you can definitely catch us a new episode on there where we talk about news and pop culture from a biblical perspective. And then Friday, we are here back at Pop and Politics. All right. And then Saturday, you can catch Just the Guys podcast. Is Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. So you get an all-male review on everything news and pop culture. But they highlight all of the ways that Marxism and communism has infiltrated our culture. So, and then back with me on Sunday. Sunday is Christian Conservative again. So, we're back on Sundays, and then Mondays you're back right here at Pop and Politics. So you can catch us all days of the week, something from Metro Conservative Media, which is really cool. Yeah. Okay.
Look, one thing you said, KJ, look, I don't consider the federal government as a big loser. I actually consider it a win for the American people. Again, because it's our taxpayer money. We're saving it, if you will, and giving it back to the American people. The federal government, no government produces anything to make a profit in and of itself. It doesn't. This is our money. I don't even consider the laws. You know, those people who retired, they were, paid out or severance pay, things like that. Many of them, it sounds like from the job report, I suspect, have gotten new jobs.
Yeah, you're right. Well, like I said, we aren't the only ones that are taking a victory lap, or I should say, singing the praises today. Scott Bassett, who should be taking a victory lap, was on the news talking about this jobs report. This is clip 8.
We've been setting the table for all of 2025. I've said that repeatedly. We've put the necessary ingredients, policies into place, and now they're starting to pay off. And what's more impressive here is the number that you just gave is the total jobs. There were more than 170,000 private sector jobs, and there was about a 40,000 decrease in government jobs. So as I've been saying since this administration came into office, we are reprivatizing the economy.
Yeah, man. Wow. Shelley, what are your thoughts there?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're supposed to do. The federal government jobs should not outweigh or outnumber private sector jobs, because that's a inverse taxation on the people who are paying those wages of the American people. So no, this is a great thing. The private sector, they're contractors to the government when necessary. That's how it's supposed to be. But you're not supposed to be relying on the government. The American people are not supposed to be paying the government more than they are bringing home in their own damn salaries.
Yeah. Absolutely, folks. As you come in, please hit that like button. Also, you guys know we have merch. All right. So this is a great way to support the channel as well. Get your merch here. You can go right to the front of our YouTube page, and there you will find our merch store. Got some great shirts there for you, sweatshirts, t-shirts, mugs, all kinds of stuff there on our merch store at Metro Conservative Media. So, my favorite is the Unapologetically American. That's my favorite shirt there. All right. So that's the back. That's the front. Definitely a great a shirt to wear, great conversation starter, especially as Nicole always says, we're about to enter the 250th anniversary for the founding of America. What a great shirt to have, Unapologetically American, and that's certainly what we are.
I wore mine today. I wore my hoodie today, and I've gotten so many compliments. People ask, "Where do you get that from?" And of course, I told them. So yeah, I think that's a really popular one.
Nice. All right, absolutely, folks. So yeah, definitely check out our merch store. You can catch it right on the front homepage of our YouTube channel, or you can go right to Metro Conservative Media. That's our website, and you can check out the store there as well. All right. So moving right along, breaking news out today, folks. This is in image 1. So the U.S. House approved the rule for the Save America Act. All right. So this is a pretty good day. So the House passed a major Republican election overhaul today after intense pressure from President Trump. This is according to Politico. All right. The Save America Act, an updated version of a bill tightening voter registration standards that the House passed last year, was approved on a 218 to 213 vote. All right. One Democrat, Rep. Henry Cooler of Texas, voted for it. All right. And I believe Thomas Massey was one to vote against it. I believe. I thought I read that earlier today.
I think it was Massey, and I want to say Murkowski or Collins.
Okay.
Murkowski, is that the one in Alaska?
I
think it was Murkowski, but if I'm wrong, Murkowski, I apologize.
Okay. I thought it was just Massey, but you may be right. It may have been, let me see here. No, you're right. So Senator Lisa Murkowski poured cold water on House Republicans' celebratory mood this week. Wait, she announced she would oppose it. Okay. So I don't know, but there it is. So these are the totals. But here it says, okay, Republicans, 1 nay. Is she registered Republican?
She's a Republican. With 1 nay, and what is not voting? Is that number 2?
Two. Yeah, okay, yeah. Maybe that was it. But it looks like it passed. So that's a huge deal. This is something that I believe will make the country a lot better. We need secure voting system. I've said this for quite some time and have been an advocate for the SAVE Act and making sure everyone that votes is a citizen. Really, that's what it's all about, and has voter ID.
Yeah. What is it? Safeguard America voting eligibility. I think that's what it stands for. Mm-hmm. This is all it means. Everyone should have ID. Every American. I don't know what you were talking about, Christopher. Shelly E is doing Real Black Political Media News Work coverage daily. I don't know what that means, but okay. Nevertheless, I'm Black, so whatever. But why are our elections, why should they not be secured? If you are an American, and you have an ID, over 95% of the American public has an ID. Okay. I mean, unless you're just born out the womb, then you might not have one. I don't understand why this is such a hard thing. I do understand from politically, when you have one side that does not, or that keeps telling you, oh, you're too poor to get an ID. You're too victim to get an ID. You're too Black. It's oppressive. It's discrimination if you have to have an ID. Really? Tell them they have to have an ID to go cash their checks. I bet you they come up with one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They definitely will find ID if they have to cash checks. I've seen it happen. Okay. Yeah. So we are excited about this, folks. We are very excited about the passing of this, but as you know, the Democrats are not. All right. Take a look at this next clip. This is a Democrat rep calling about talking about the voter ID, and she's calling people who support this trash. This is clip 5.
Look, as I hear my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, what I hear is the same racist, misogynistic trash, different decade. Republicans are invoking historical policies intended, let's be clear, to disenfranchise Americans, especially working people, women, students, indigenous people, and anyone who can't afford the burdens of a new bill. The Save America Act is yet another Republican attempt to intimidate and suppress the votes of anyone who threatens their extremist white supremacist agenda.
Wow. What is she talking about? Again, what is she talking about?
But she just said it, the white supremacy message. It's this, the race, the fear mongering, the demagoguery, only black people or minorities can't get ID. It's the same tropes. These people only want to maintain their power. Not only that, if people show up with an ID that has to match the voter registration, the voter rolls, and guess what? It's easy just about in every state to go and register to vote. You can do it at the MVAs. You can probably do it at some places have kiosks. Some places you can go and sign up to vote the same day you show up. Okay. So all of this aside, what these people want, they want to maintain their power. If you're not verified or you don't have ID. No, let me say it the other way. If you are verified with your ID that you are the person that's showing up and you match the roles, 9 times out of 10, they don't get to control you.
Right.
They don't get to control you. They can't find some way to manipulate you by telling you they got to bring a bus. If you can get an ID, you can probably get yourself to vote.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, they find a way to get everything else done when an ID is required. All right, folks, we got to stop, looking at this idea, the privilege, is it a privilege or is it a right to vote?
Right, vote.
Yeah. We got to stop being so careless about it. All right. This is very important, and our ancestors understood the importance of it. Okay. And this is why many fought and died for the right to vote. But now people are so careless, not just about the right, but also securing our systems or our institutions, safeguarding them in a way that we can feel secure and safe within our voting system, so that the outcomes, aren't questioned.
Not as much. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is a good thing. But the Democrats want to play on our emotions. They want to use historical trauma, okay, as something that they can use to kind of convince us that this is not right. And this is what they're doing. This is exactly what they're doing. And we can't let them. We cannot let them. We cannot let them manipulate, because this is a huge manipulation. Okay.
It is. Let's hear from Kia, our super chatter here. Kia, thank you for your $5 super chat and for being a member of our Freedom Club. Kia is asking, is this bill just for presenting ID to register to vote or presenting ID to vote on election day? Aren't there 2 bills, SAVE Act and Save America Act? I think there's just one bill, Kia. It's called the SAVE Act. Some people, because the title of the bill is actually Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or the SAVE Act. And this is the line from the bill itself. I'm reading from the House 119 congressional pages. This bill requires individuals to provide documentary proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. So that's the first line. There are like 7 lines in this bill that I'm reading from. And it tells you, so it's for federal elections. Now, again, your state elections may have different criteria, but
Right.
this is affecting the federal elections, which, of course, your presidential, Senate, congressional, things like that. But your state rules, if you will, they can all vote differently for the state elections, but not the federal. But guess what? If you have an ID for the federal, why would you not just use it for the state? It doesn't make sense. This is just another game that these politicians like to play. They like to play these games, manipulating the populace, manipulating the voters or certain segments. Get your ID. Most of you already have one. Okay, you already have it, and you can go and register again at the VA. I mean, the MVA, where else, things like that. This is a bunch of bullshit. You can get ID to cash a check. You can get ID to go buy liquor from the store. It's bullshit. But you can get ID to go buy cigarettes from Walmart that's behind the lot counter.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, so this act it governs federal elections. It does not govern state and local elections. And so, as you mentioned, So, but I believe it does mandate an ID to vote. I think.
Yeah. This is it.
I thought you meant registration, but not just.
I just read the first line, but it also mandates that states must remove non-citizens from the rolls.
Right.
So there are some provisions, if you will, that states must follow, because those rolls. Remember, your state rolls feed into the federal system as well. So again, but you do have to have the ID. You have the ID, or you have information that proves you're a citizen. Number one, whatever the case may be, but that's how you get to register to vote in the federal elections.
Right. So and it's asking for proof of citizenship to register to vote, and then the IDs to vote. That's what you're saying. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So I love it. I love it. I mean, in the news recently, we saw that they had found, I think they took 300 illegals off of the voting rolls. I believe it was in Alabama, if memory corrects me. I mean, they have been finding people who are, inaccuracies on the voter rolls over the last several years. So, folks, this is just, we need so many, in so many ways, we need audits of so many systems, not just the voting rolls, but we talked about the way that our government, spends and makes money. We need audits on that. We need audits on the voting rolls. We need these things to make sure, number one, that the systems are working the way that they are intended to work, and number two, to take out fraud. Anyone that has worked for the private sector, which I have worked for the private sector for many, many years, you have audits, you have different systems in place to check and make sure that things are running properly, to make sure that you're getting out fraud. Fraud is in many types of systems, particularly the governmental system, because it's so large. All right. But that's the thing. They don't want us stamping out this fraud. Okay.
Nope.
So we will continue to keep you updated on that. All right. As you come in, folks, hit that like button. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and we appreciate the support. Also, subscribe, share this video, share it on your social media timeline, share it in a text message and a DM. Again, we want to grow our community here of like-minded individuals, God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. All right. Looks like we have another super chat, Shelly.
All right, let's see who we have. Yes. Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Thank you for your $20 super chat and for being a member of our Freedom Club. I can't even get my damn prescriptions from CVS on Oxon Hill Road without an ID unless my girl is working. Absolutely. You're right. A lot of little things that we kind of, I guess, take for granted. You still have to have an ID to get them. You cannot. I don't smoke, but cigarettes, alcohol, what you're saying, certain prescriptions, you have to have your ID. Little things like that, or, that make a big difference to our lives, of course, but you have to have an ID, and this is bullshit. Most people have an identification, and if you don't, maybe you lost yours, or for some reason or another you just don't have one, you can get it.
Right.
You can get it.
Absolutely. All right. Speaking of the SAVE Act, and voter ID, things like that, let's move on to Rand Paul and Katie Couric. So Rand Paul and Katie Couric got into a heated debate recently in an interview over the percentage of violent criminals being deported versus people who have not done violent crime. So it's Katie Couric's contention that the Trump administration is deporting too many people that have not committed violent crime. And so she was in this interview with Rand Paul, and he pushed back. Take a look. This is clip 1.
14% of nearly 400,000 immigrants arrested by ICE in President Trump's first year back in the White House had charges or convictions for violent criminal offenses, according to an internal Department of Homeland Security document obtained by CBS News. So isn't all this talk about ridding the country of violent criminals a massive overstatement?
So just in case you guys missed it, she said that only 14% of people deported, 14%, I believe, of the 400,000, I think it is, illegals deported are violent criminals. All right, here we go.
If less than 14%, again, of the 400,000 immigrants being arrested are had charges or convictions for violent criminal offenses.
Well, I think the facts make a difference. And so that's one of the questions we will ask. And so when you come to Minneapolis, if they have a policy that says, oh, we're not going to turn over from our jails nonviolent prisoners, people who are, I don't know why you're in prison if you're nonviolent, but maybe you have a drug crime that's a nonviolent.
I think there are plenty of nonviolent people in prisons.
But the thing is that's not their policy. Their policy is we will turn no one over. So you can be, you beat somebody half to death, you get an assault charge, and you're in jail for a couple years, and somehow you're getting out on parole, and you're not going to be turned over and you're illegal. I've got a problem with that, and so do probably most independents and Democrats. But that's what we have to ascertain. And the thing is that's not the policy of Mayor Fry. He did not come forward and say, we're not going to turn over nonviolent prisoners. He just simply said, we're not going to cooperate at all. And if you do cooperate, and this is Ellison's edict to them, it's actually against the law for you to cooperate. So if you happen to have a Republican county and a Republican judge who wants to turn over people in jail once their term has expired to be deported, they've actually made that illegal. And so we should have a debate in our country whether that's advisable. And I think most people are in the middle. I think most people actually hate what the use of force that they saw with Alexander Preddy. But I think if you ask them, if a guy's committed rape and he's in prison and he's going to get out, do you want him deported? I think people would say, hell yes, he ought to be deported. But if they're not.
So let's stop right here. I want to get your thoughts on the exchange so far, Shelley.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying so. Okay. So, all right. What Rand Paul is saying, Katie Couric, I think she's trying to play a little sleight of hand here. Mm-hmm. Less than 14. Okay, let's just say 14% of the 400,000, which is about 56,000 violent people have been deported. The other, 450 or 350,000 have not been deported, even though they will be considered violent criminals because the blue places where they are being held are not releasing them to ICE. So you can't count them because they haven't been deported. Technically, they're still behind bars, or worst case, they are released back into the public. So she's just using the basic numbers, but Rand Paul is trying to explain basically if those people were deported and the blue states, the sanctuary cities would allow ICE to come and get them, you would see those numbers, that percentage would go up. This is all they're playing with the numbers. Katie is here. You can't count someone technically if they haven't been deported. It does not mean that they are not violent.
Right. And another thing. All right. That's a very good point you made. But besides all of that, folks, illegal entry is a crime. All right. Now, I understand that President Trump, when he initially came into office, he said, along with Tom Homan, that they were going to go after, not only, but go after the violent criminal illegals. Okay. But above and beyond all of that, overstaying a visa is a violation of federal immigration law. All right. Deportation is a civil enforcement action tied to unlawful presence. These people are here unlawfully. All right. So the idea that only violent criminals should be deported ignores that the entire category involves people who broke immigration law. All right. And if breaking federal law doesn't matter, then goodness gracious, what does? What matters?
Yeah.
This is what I want to know. Let's go
again.
on. Let's go.
Oh, go ahead. Keep on going. Yeah.
So what about the 14%? Such a low percentage of 400,000 people.
If you're
this is what she's talking about. She keeps harping on this 14%. Well, what about how many of those people are drug dealers? How many of those people were caught? Because drug dealing is not a violent offense, right? So you have people who may have been arrested or and they may have records of non-violent offense. All right, what they supposed to stay here? Why do we want you already illegal? Why do we want people who have non-violent offenses here and leeching off of our social services? It makes no sense.
If your daughter gets raped by the guy that gets back out and he's one of the 14%, I don't think you're going to quibble about whether it's 14 or 64. What I'm saying is, if you're not going to,
who are not guilty,
if you're not going to turn over anybody, then that.
This is what she is no
what
better.
What did she say? I didn't hear what she said.
Oh, I'll rewind. She's no better than the judge that we talked about yesterday that have that guy's sentence. The jury gave him 65 years. She cuts it in half only and lets him out in 30. What is wrong with these people? And she looks terrible. Oh my God, Katie Couric.
When you stop the Botox, I guess that's what happens. Ugh.
Poor Katie Couric. All those years she had that cute little baby face. Oh my God! Now she looked like the baby's bottom. I'm going back up.
Ashy too. She could have put some Vaseline around there or something.
Oh, poor Katie Couric. All right, let's see.
About whether it's 14 or 64. What I'm saying is, if you're not going to,
who are not guilty,
if you're not going to turn over anybody, then that's 0%.
What about all those other individuals who are not guilty?
Okay, again, this is going back to their argument about illegals having due process. They are not entitled to a full trial, if you will. They have now, it's been deemed they can have an administrative hearing, I guess. That's a part, but they don't even want that. If they don't want that, they don't want these illegals to be deported, period, no matter what they do. They don't. Again, you can't count people. You can't put them in the numbers. The number's going to be 14% because all the rest of them are behind bars, or many of them are, and they're not being released. They're actually being released, some of them, back to the public to commit more crimes. And not only that, they will tend to probably commit more and more serious crimes. And if they're not working, what do you think they're going to be doing? Because if they're not getting jobs, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to terrorize people, rape, rob, murder, okay, have accidents with the CDL driver's licenses that they shouldn't have. More and more Americans, these people are, Katie and her two daughters will be fine in her little secure home or in their chauffeur-driven, lifestyles, or wherever they may be, whatever the case may be. These people are incredulous.
Yeah. And so what she's saying is the 14% that they are referring to, and please correct me if I'm wrong, are people who have already been convicted of violent offense.
Some of them have, or some of them are. I guess I would say yes, because ICE has caught them, or caught them, and those are the violent ones who have already been adjudicated. But again, I don't know how
these are ones that were caught. They were caught by police for doing whatever, convicted, and then let back out. Is that right?
Right. They already had records. They already had some kind of record of violent history. They've been caught whatever way. Maybe in some states they were allowed to pick them up to a small degree. But those are, she's complaining. She's making it seem like President Trump said he's going to go after the violent offenders. Well, he's only gotten 14%. That's not a lot. So then she's saying that all the other people that ICE is going after, they're either non-violent or ICE is picking up the wrong people. Basically, that's what she's saying and or implying.
Okay. Okay. Bottom line is, folks, why is the bar now? You must have committed a violent felony. How did we get here? Why is the bar now? You must have committed a violent felony before the immigration law applies. It's just this is what the Marxist agenda, and I hate to keep folks pushing on that. They try to make simple things complex, because when they become more and more complex, then people feel like, oh, it's just too much. Let's go on what you're saying. It's simple as it can be.
Let me attempt to answer your question.
Illegally. You're not supposed to be here. You need to go back.
Right. I agree, but let me attempt to answer your question. Why is it not? Because we've had, again, many administrations go back and forth with this idea of amnesty, leave them here, phase them in, grandfather. So this is why we're here now. Republican and Democratic administrations, amnesty and illegal aliens, should they come in? Should we close the border? Should we not? So this is why we're here. The immigration, laws and rules have been so convoluted, conflated, not enforced. So this is why we're here now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad President Trump is making it clear, okay? Because this is eroding away at our national sovereignty. And this is what the left wants, all right? Every country in the world enforces their borders. Every country. If you are a foreign national and you overstay your visa in Japan, Australia, Canada, you are removed, period. Okay, why are we here in America expected to operate in a different way? It makes no sense. Let's keep going here.
I don't think the percentage, it makes a halfway argument to how much effort we have. But if Minnesota's not going to turn over anybody, the whole argument, whether it's 14 or 86, doesn't mean anything. So if they're not turning over anybody, then inevitably there are many emotional cases. The Laken Riley case of a guy that'd been arrested, should have been deported. He was a thug. He was arrested multiple times up in New York. The government paid to send this thug to look for a job in Atlanta. It was almost like, we'll give you a bus ticket so your crime committing person we'll send you to some other state. But to Laken Riley's family, it was a big deal, and it is a big deal to people who care about what happened to her, that if that person had been deported. Now, you might tell me that person's an anomaly. He's only 1 in 100. But up in Laken Riley's family, I don't care if it's 1 in 100. The 1 in 100 people who are violent, if that's a number, or if it's 14 in 100, we want them deported. And look, you're looking at someone who's moderate on this issue. I'm not. I don't appreciate what they're doing. I don't like the crowd control. But I do want violent people who are in prison detained and given over to ICE. And if Minnesota's not doing that, they're part of the problem.
I should point out, Senator Paul, that Laken Riley's father has cautioned lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to refrain from using her death as a political wedge.
Thank you for pointing that out.
See, this is what I hate when the people do this. And I don't care who does it, whatever side. When, first of all, grieving parents, I give them a little bit of grace, okay? I just do. I may not even agree with them. But you're going to point that out. Well, how about point out the fact that I bet you every damn night, Laken Riley's parents and her siblings, friends, loved ones, I bet you they go to bed with tears in their eyes and they're heartbroken. You don't mention that, though, do you? You only say the thing that's going to advance your political cause, if you will. This is bullshit. Deport them. I'm with Rand Paul. Deport them. I still want them deported.
Yeah. And these people, they are so wicked. This woman, and you know what? It's always, folks, we really have to look at things with a spiritual lens, because a lot of these wicked leftists, they come across as so cutesy nice, and they are like the witch in the woods that Hansel and Gretel met and is offering them cookies. All right. These people are evil. Okay. I've come across them a lot. I look back and I say, man, when I first met this person, when I first met them initially, I thought, wow, this person is so sweet and so nice. But when the mask is pulled back, you realize these people are very wicked, okay? She's trying to create a false moral hierarchy, all right? So her argument is violent illegals, that's bad. Non-violent illegals, we need to be sympathetic. No, they're all unlawful, okay? Lawful immigrants follow the process. There is a process that is laid out, all right? Millions of people wait, okay, years. They pay a ton of money and they comply to get here legally. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to our system that becomes corroded and defrauded. It's not fair. All right. It's an injustice because these people are doing it the right way. And these illegals are jumping the line, whether they're criminal or not. Do it the right way. Right. Illegal is illegal. And she's trying to be this cutesy. Wow. Laken Riley's is Laken Riley's the one her mom was at the White House. She has the black glasses and she wore hair.
I think Jocelyn, I think at the White House it was Laken Riley's family or mother, Jocelyn Ingeray's, and it was another.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was Laken Riley's mom.
Yeah.
Who has been very
Rachel Morin's mother was there too. That's what I think.
Oh, maybe I might be thinking it's Rachel Morin's mom then. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's shameful what they're doing. It really is. So we're going to continue to call them out and to push back against this rhetoric because we have seen too many Americans, not just old, young, female, male, that have come up, have been killed, have been violently abused by illegal immigrants.
Yeah, and these are the people. Interestingly enough, these are the people of the Me Too generation, if you will, the Me Too people. They claim to have all of this, I guess, compassion, support for women. You know, women who cry because a man whistles at them at work or whatever. They will go to bat for that. But the women who are put in their graves earlier than they should be, you know, let the illegal stay.
Yeah. Here's another case, folks. 2 boys, 2 more. I think this guy did more than this, but 2 more boys were raped by 43-year-old Mario Eduardo Garcia. He's an illegal alien pedophile from El Salvador. In California, it was a sanctuary situation there, and he's currently charged with the rape and murder of a 13-year-old. This is clip 6.
Documented youth soccer coach faces 9 new charges in a disturbing case. You're looking at Mario Eduardo Garcia Aquino, already accused of murdering 13-year-old Oscar Hernandez. You remember that case last March, his body found by the side of a road in Oxnard? Well, the coach now faces additional charges of sex crimes involving 2 other teens dating back to 2022. The 44-year-old remains jailed without bail as prosecutors consider seeking the death penalty in the murder case.
My Lord, look at this. I mean, he's a youth soccer coach. Shelley, what are your thoughts?
Sock it to him. Sock it to him, and I don't even want him deported. I want him to have capital punishment myself. So I mean, you know, let's just get him over with real quick. Get it over with. He murdered the children. Give him his trial, or whatever, and put him 6 feet under. I mean, that's it. He don't have to go back to El Salvador, Mexico, wherever. Put him 6 feet under.
Yeah, I mean, folks, I don't think people understand. Not only are people who come in here like this doing it the wrong way, but then we as Americans in our system, we are setting a dangerous precedent. We are saying to these people, it's okay to do wrong, you know, because you matter more than me. Whatever you're going through matters more than my system, my laws. It's not right. It really is not right. And it starts people off on a wrong footing. And we have to stop this. We really do.
But we have another super here, I think.
Yes.
Let's see who we have here. Robert, hi, Robert Mason. Thank you for your $5 super chat and for being a member of our Freedom Club. I'm going to go ahead and drop this on here for you ladies. How's it going in Cherry Hill, Mondawmin Mall, and Lexington Market doing? Well, Robert, let me tell you, I haven't frequented those areas in a while. So I'll put it like that. So, I don't know. I hear in Cherry Hill, I think Mondawmin too, according to Brandon Scott, there's what is it called? Safe Streets. There is a Safe Streets office in Cherry Hill. I know that. I think there's one in Mondawmin. That's what Brandon Scott says. But hell, you won't see me over there. Used to love Mondawmin Mall when I was a little girl.
Yeah, I know. All those places are full of blue lights. Okay. If you know where blue lights are, it's a mess. It is a mess. These areas now are so run down with drugs, with crime. You can't even go to Lexington Market anymore. And even when I was young, it used to be a situation where you would go and, there would be beggars on the streets and there would be needles all on the ground and stuff. Now it's even worse. And now you can't even eat the food in there. There were stories about rats running through the places where the food was in Lexington Market.
They renovated
portions are torn down.
They renovated it. They have renovated. I've been there one time since they renovated it. The new location, I have to say, it looks beautiful, but it's a whole different feel to it. Really is. It's more like a bistro type area. They don't have as many of the fresh meat and produce stands. Nowhere near as many. The old part is, I guess I don't know if it's boarded up or not. But you're right. There's still some. When I was there, and that was a few years ago when they first renovated it. There's still some, I guess I would say, scattered riffraff that's through there. That's a. I guess I think we're talking about that similarly in another story, another segment.
Well, was it renovated when we did the story? Remember when we went there and we were interviewing people? Had it been renovated yet?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe that wasn't Lexington. That was Ken.
We were at Canton.
No, Kenwood. We were in the city at the first place. I can't remember. It was one of the markets. That's where we first went.
No, we were at Northeast.
Okay, Northeast. Okay.
Kung Fu CJ, thank you for stopping by with your $5 super chat and for being one of our mods and for being a member of our Freedom Club. I mean, Kung Fu just has it all. He says, awesome show, ladies. But he's driving. Drive safely. Thank you for stopping by. Everybody else, you know what to do. You know what time it is. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button already. Go ahead and do it now. Because I think you probably have forgotten to do it when you came in. So I'm going to remind you. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button right now and drop your chats in the chat.
All right, folks. So moving along, speaking of local places here, which was asked by the chatter, we going right. A local story has made national headlines. So this is out in Hyattsville, Maryland, which is an area called Prince George's County. We call it PG County for short. The Washington Free Beacon has done a story on this. So the sign, they're saying here, I'm reading right from here. The sign outside the Marylander condominiums, a 200-unit complex in PG County, Maryland, describes it as a private community. But for members of a homeless encampment in the condo's backyard, the complex also serves as a crack house, a bathroom, and the entrance to an open-air drug market, which has become a magnet for organized crime and caused millions in property damage. We have a short clip here. Take a look. This is clip 7. So that was a vagrant, looks like in front of somebody's door.
Was his pants down?
I don't know. So they get break-ins, people smoking crack in the stairwells, all sorts of situations. Half of the complex has gone without heat since Thanksgiving after vagrants allegedly vandalized the boiler room, causing pipes to burst in several buildings. Some units have lost electricity too due to the overuse of space heaters, though the county instructed those without heat to vacate immediately in December. Most have defied the order and tried to weather the cold. They say they have nowhere else to go. Oh my God. This is, folks, you got to go to the Free Beacon and see. I mean, they have this story. They got poop all on the walls, human feces, all types of stuff. But they say that the bulk of this story is saying that the county is responsible for this. Shelly, what did you think about this?
So the county is responsible. I guess this, from what I understand, let me say it from what I understand. Maybe I'm wrong. Because they are allowing the people to house themselves in a private gated community, or certainly private property. These people are paying homeowners fees, they pay taxes, they pay mortgages for condos. Okay, so now they have to have services to come and clean up their condominium area. So the city, or I mean the county, is not getting the vagrants out. They have been allowing them there. Why? Because they don't want to offend the homeless. They don't want to put them in shelters or come in and do sweeps, if you will, clean up the area and get them out of there. They don't want to do it. They are allowing it. In fact, they want to make the homeowners feel bad and guilty for wanting them out of their private space.
Folks, this is where we're all headed if the Democrats take over, if they get into power in a predominant, in the White House and in many areas in these countries. I'm sorry, in many of the states in this country. Okay. So what they're saying is, quoting the county's deputy chief administrator, we have to be compassionate. All right. There's that word again. Same word the lady judge used yesterday when she let off of this violent sexual offender who was sentenced for 65 years in prison, and she let him out for 30. This is what the left does. It's evil. We talked about this yesterday. Melvin Powell said the encampment addressing the hundreds of residents who could soon be displaced because of it. We're not criminalizing the unhoused.
That's yeah. No, it does. It basically, damn you, damn me, damn the people who are actually paying for their property, the ones that we have to sit through with the mortgage lenders, all that damn paperwork, all the taxes every year. We have to, account for this, account for that. We have to actually maintain and keep up our property because the mortgage has a stake in it if we don't, right? I'm just saying all these factors have to be in it. We will get fined if you have certain things that are allowed to, disintegrate and just go down on your property and you don't maintain it. You get fined. But now you can't tell the unhoused to get out of your property. Don't even call 911 because why? That you're going to feel guilty. You have to feel guilty. You're not being compassionate for wanting the shit, literal shit, in your hallways, in your washrooms, if you will. You don't want the shit smeared on the wall. That's okay. You are incompassionate. You're not being a good neighbor. That's what you get.
It's shocking. They said here the real estate company officials were at this town hall. They're in a local investment firm when it began managing the Marylander, that's the name of this condo, in April of 2025. For months, they pleaded with police and county officials to address the open-air drug market that had effectively colonized the condo, which suffered so many break-ins that the company stopped repairing the locks. This is what they want. We saw this in California and other areas. Now in California, I have a friend who lives out there. They leave their cars unlocked because they know they're going to be broken into, and they don't want the thieves to break the windows to get into the cars. So instead, they leave the car doors unlocked so the cars won't be damaged. This is what Democrats want us to be, society to become. All the privileges go to the vagrants, the squatters, the thieves, the illegals. Everybody who's doing wrong, they make some type of excuse. See, this is the same thing we just saw. Do you understand that? We just said how Katie Couric is making excuses for people that are here illegally because they didn't commit enough crimes. They're not violent offenders, okay? So they should be left alone. Now they're making excuses for these unhoused people. Who's looking out for us?
Oh, how dare you say that? That's selfish. You know, again, that's selfish. Why you, or not only is it selfish, but you're privileged for even thinking such things. You're privileged. You know, you've never been homeless and you've never had to do so therefore, how can you say that? You can't walk, you've never walked in their shoes. You're damn right. I've never walked in shitty shoes and I don't intend to, okay? But I do know I do pay taxes. See, remember a few years ago, KJ, here in Baltimore, there were some business owners down, I think, in Canton or Fells Point. They had joined together and said that they were not going to pay taxes to the city, and they got their attention. I think they may have hired an attorney and basically said, we're paying the property taxes, whatever, and we can't even have a police and the city protect our common areas, if you will, right? They keep you allow these criminals, the violent juveniles, to keep coming through a revolving door. This group of business owners joined together and said, we are not going to pay our taxes for X amount of time. There was some, I don't know, there was some kind of whatever negotiations, whatever plans, but they did. This is what we need to do. This is a part of give me my money back. Because my money, my taxes, PG County, other areas in Maryland, the lady we talked about yesterday, I think, the squatter, right? Similar situation. Basically, she's squatting, they're squatting in somebody else's property. And you have to eat it. You literally have to suck it up, walk on the shit, smell it, your area, and you still got to pay for it.
Yeah. The Washington Free Beacon goes on to say, but the county, which has the highest Democratic vote share of any county in the United States. All right. Wow. So this is your Democrat utopia, folks. Okay. You can have it. All right. At 86% didn't clear the camp. Instead, guess what they did? Threatened to sue the condo, which was already tight on cash for its failure to fix the nearly $5 million in property damage that has been caused by the drug den on its doorstep. So let me tell y'all something. Because not only are these people Democrat, they black as Shelly's shirt. All right. Y'all can have it. This is what I'm talking about when people try to say, when these Democrats, I can't even remember, I'm so all over the place. I don't know if we were talking about it on here or Christian Conservative, where they try to lump us. We were talking about it here last night when that Democrat rep said, we as Asians, Latinos, Black folks, we all have to come together against the white oppressor. No, I'm not with y'all in PG County. I'm not with you in Baltimore. I don't care what color you are. I am not joining forces with people who want chaos. Okay?
You know what? I'm reading through that article. You know what I think could happen? The homeowners eventually, they're going to leave. Right, their properties may go into foreclosure, whatever, because they're not going to be able to sell them.
Well, they're in condo. That's already hard.
Well, right. PG County, the county, the local government will come in and take over that building and allow the homeless people to be there. That's what they'll do. They will allow them to be there because it's a place for them to go. They off the street, so to speak, whatever. But that's what they'll do. And then not only that, they're going to get so many social services thrown at them, wraparound services, all kinds of stuff thrown at them. That's what's going to happen. I bet you something like that is going to happen.
You're probably right, because this is what they want. This is what happens. I mean, when you see panhandlers on the street, they go places that they know they're going to get money. You know, if you don't give them money, then they find a way to make money some other way. And this is sort of like that, but on a large scale. So what has happened here is the police didn't do anything about the safety issues in the drug, the drug open air drug market. So what they do, they smoke crack on the street, right out in the open in front of everybody. All right. They weren't arresting people for the violent, well, not so much violent, but the robberies and the theft and all this type of stuff. Because what do they know? They know that there's probably some social justice prosecutor there that's not going to press charges on these people. So the police are like, I'm not going to waste my time arresting these people when they're going to be put right back out on the street. Okay. And then you have, the county is encouraging this, the unhoused and all this type of crap. So what happens in situations like this? More and more people come. I don't even know what to call it. The monstrosity, the nastiness, the disgusting poop and all of it just grows and grows and grows.
Yeah.
Until it's everywhere. And until you are literally, which folks, I'm here to tell you, I have actually done. I have stepped in human feces in Baltimore City. We've said it on here before, and I'm telling you again, in Baltimore City, the homeless people poop on the street in downtown, and you can step in it. And I did. And let me tell you this, I'd rather step in a Cane Corso, Italian Mastiff's poop than step in a human's poop, okay?
It's a shame. Let's see what our super chatters have to say. All right, we have Scrapping Beauty. Hi for your $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Why would anyone be against only legal citizens voting? To steal votes against citizens? Yes. Every illegal vote discounts at least 2 other legals. Good point. Thank you for that, Scrapping Beauty. $5 super chat. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have Bernie. Hi, Bernie. Thank you for your $10 super chat, and thank you for being a member of our Freedom Club. Bernie says I was in Baltimore in 2004 to see Camden Yards, and I stayed at the Mount Vernon Hotel, and I saw signs that said "Ride the Ducks." Are these things still around? What are those, KJ?
I think so. Yeah, they're at the Inner Harbor. They're like the big duck boats. Like
paddle boats.
Those.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think you can still get those. I think.
I don't know. I mean,
in the summertime, maybe.
Folks who haven't been here in a while, man, the harbor is really empty. All the businesses have closed. For you guys who may have come to Baltimore City years ago, you had the Cheesecake Factory, you had P.F. Chang's. All of those businesses have closed or are about to close. I know they were on their way to close this week or this month.
We talked about that yesterday with the nonprofits and Shalonda Stokes, the downtown Baltimore. Downtown Baltimore is like, what is this? If you go down there, where is it?
Yeah, it's a ghost town.
Yeah. DJ, thank you for your $20 super chat and for being one of your super stickers. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah.
Thank you, super chatters. Thank you, mods in our chat room. Thank you, everybody who's commenting. Don't forget, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And don't forget, we have merchandise. We do have merchandise. We have our t-shirts, the Unapologetically American t-shirt, many colors, female cuts, male cuts. We have hoodies. Thank you. We had the Metro Conservative Media logo sweatshirt there. That's also a nice one. So go ahead and shop until your heart's content. You have plenty to choose from. I think we have mugs. We have caps as well. Go to the store page on our, is it YouTube page? Go to the store
our
link
YouTube page on the home page. Yep.
Right. The store link on the home page on YouTube and shop.
All right, folks. Well, again, today is a momentous day. In spite of all that stuff we just spoke about, folks, you got to share this broadcast with people, because the Trump administration and Congress actually today are doing some really great things. Again, with this jobs report that came out today, phenomenal. And we finally got this Save America Act passed. And I did find the additional details. So again, it's what you said, Shelley. You must prove citizenship to register to vote. You got to have photo ID at the polls. Voter ID will take effect immediately. And mail-in ballots must have a copy of your photo ID. So I love it. I'm so happy. We give Congress a hard time, but they got this passed.
Stay on your senators now, because I think it goes to the Senate. So call, email, stay on your senators. This has to pass.
Yes. All right. Does it still have to go to the Senate? I thought it was in the Senate.
This was the House.
Oh, the House. Okay. All right. All right, folks. That does it for us tonight. We will be back on Friday night at 9 p.m. So definitely hit that notification bell. Also, before we go, some sad news today. The actor who played Dawson on Dawson's Creek died today. Vanderbeek. James Vanderbeek passed away today. He lost his battle with colorectal cancer. So if you guys, anybody like me, a 90s person, Dawson's Creek was my show. Woo! I couldn't miss a Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday nights it came on. And me and my sisters would run downstairs to watch Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
And so really sad.
It was sad. I have to say, I have never watched one episode of Dawson's Creek, but I had heard about him. He was sick and he was pretty young too. So yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, really sad. 48 years old.
Yeah.
So, folks, get your checkups, go to the doctor, get your physicals. We're still in the early months of the year, February. So a lot of people do it in the beginning of every year to get all your physicals, all your checkups. Preventative health is the way to go. All right. Well, that does it for us. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Good night.